I met my online boyfriend. It was a trap. The dating app notification chimed just as I was meticulously aligning the pixels on a new website mock-up. Jake liked your profile. My stomach did a little flip. It had been almost a year since Mark, and the thought of even swiping right felt like a monumental effort. Mark had chipped away at my confidence like a sculptor with a malicious agenda. I was left feeling like a rough draft, never quite good enough. But Jake, his profile was different. He wasn't posing with a sedated tiger or flexing in a bathroom mirror. He was smiling genuinely in a photo taken on a windswept beach. His bio was simple: loves hiking, good coffee, and laughing until my stomach hurts. And he was witty in our chats. Really witty. Chloe, ever the pragmatist, raised an eyebrow. You're getting seriously invested in someone you've never even video chatted with. Anna, remember what happened with Mark? I know, I sighed, swirling the lukewarm coffee in my mug. But it feels different, Chloe. He listens. He understands. Me. Jake was attentive, sending me good morning texts and asking about my day. We bonded over our shared love of old movies and our mutual dislike of overly aggressive marketing campaigns. He was a breath of fresh air, a constant in a world that felt increasingly chaotic. And he was patient. He never pressured me to reveal anything I wasn't comfortable with. After a few months of virtual dates, late-night phone calls, and shared playlists, Jake suggested I visit him in Maine. He lived in a small coastal town called Havenwood. It's beautiful here, Anna, he typed. Quiet, peaceful. Exactly what you need to escape the city. He painted a picture of cozy cafes, scenic hikes, and breathtaking sunsets. I was captivated. Chloe was less enthusiastic. Maine, with a guy you met online, Anna. That's practically a horror movie plot. But I was determined. I booked a flight to Portland and a connecting bus to Havenwood. I needed this. I needed to break free from the suffocating memories of Mark and the soul-crushing routine of my life in Boston. The bus pulled into Havenwood late on a Friday afternoon. The air was crisp and clean, carrying the scent of pine and salt water. Jake was waiting for me, leaning against a weathered wooden bench, his smile as warm as I'd imagined. He was taller than I expected, with kind eyes and a genuine smile that reached them. He wrapped me in a hug that felt surprisingly familiar. Welcome to Havenwood, Anna, he said, his voice a low rumble. I'm so glad you're here. The first few days were idyllic. We explored the town, hand in hand, discovering hidden coves and charming antique shops. We ate lobster rolls by the harbor and watched the sunset from the top of a lighthouse. Jake was even more charming in person. He anticipated my needs, listened intently to my stories, and made me laugh until my sides ached. But then, the little things started. Subtle shifts in Jake's behavior that prickled at the back of my neck. He was always suggesting things, not asking. He would make plans for us without consulting me first. He discouraged me from checking my email, saying I should just relax and enjoy my vacation. One afternoon, I tried to call Chloe. Just to let her know I arrived safely, I explained. Jake's face tightened. You're on vacation, Anna. Why do you need to be on the phone? Live in the moment. His family was odd. They seemed to adore Jake, but their stories never quite lined up. His mother kept calling him Michael, and his sister seemed to have a different accent every time I spoke to her. They were overly friendly, almost performatively so, and I felt like I was constantly being watched. One evening, I was browsing through Jake's Facebook profile, which admittedly I should have done before I came all the way to Maine. His profile was sparsely populated, with only a few generic posts and no recent activity. But then I stumbled upon an old photo album, tagged with a different name, Christopher. My heart lurched. I clicked on the profile. It was locked, but the profile picture, it was Jake. Or rather, Christopher. I confronted Jake about it that night. He was cooking dinner, humming softly to himself. Who's Christopher? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He froze, his back to me. What are you talking about? I saw the Facebook profile, with your picture. Your name is Christopher, isn't it? He turned around, his smile gone, replaced by a cold, calculating stare. Anna, you've been snooping. I just want to know why you lied to me. Lied? I haven't lied about anything. He moved closer, his voice dangerously low. You're just being paranoid. You're letting your insecurities get the best of you. He was gaslighting me, just like Mark used to do. My stomach churned. Don't do that, I said, my voice trembling. Don't try to make me feel crazy. He grabbed my arm, his grip tight. You are crazy. You're always looking for something to be wrong. Why can't you just be happy? I wrenched my arm away. Get away from me. I needed to get out of there. I needed to get away from him. I grabbed my phone and ran out of the house into the cool Maine night. I didn't know where I was going. I just ran, my breath catching in my throat. I stumbled along the dark, winding road, the sound of the ocean crashing against the shore my only companion. I saw a light in the distance and ran towards it. It was a small, dimly lit bar. I pushed open the door and stepped inside, my heart pounding. The bartender, a man with kind eyes and a weathered face, looked up. "You all right, miss?" I shook my head, tears streaming down my face. "I need help." His name was Mark, ironically. He listened patiently as I poured out my story, my voice cracking with emotion. He didn't judge me. He didn't tell me I was stupid or naive. He just listened. "Jake, huh?" he said when I finally finished, or Christopher, sounds like trouble. There was a guy like that around here a few years back. Did the same to a girl named Sarah. She left town pretty quick. He called the police. Detective Miller arrived a few minutes later. He was skeptical at first, but Mark vouched for me. He said I was genuinely scared. "We'll look into it, miss," Detective Miller said, his expression grim. "But these things can be hard to prove." I spent the night at a small motel on the edge of town. I couldn't sleep. Every creak and groan of the building sounded like Jake coming to get me. The next day, Detective Miller called. "We found some discrepancies, Miss Evans," he said. "Your Mr. Jake doesn't exactly have a clean record. And his family, well, let's just say they're not exactly who they claim to be. He had been running a scam. He would create fake online profiles, lure women to Havenwood, and then Detective Miller wouldn't say what he did, but I could imagine. Exploitation. Control. Maybe even worse. Sarah, the woman Mark mentioned, came forward. She told her story. It was chillingly similar to mine. The fake online persona, the charming facade, the gradual isolation, the gaslighting. She had managed to escape before things got too dangerous, but she was still traumatized. The police raided Jake's house. They found hidden cameras, fake ID, and a meticulously documented list of his victims. He was arrested along with his family. I went back to Boston. The city felt overwhelming after the quiet solitude of Havenwood. My apartment was cluttered and impersonal. I felt like a stranger in my own life. Chloe was there for me, of course. She held me while I cried, and she didn't say "I told you so." She just listened. I started therapy. It was hard, dredging up the pain of Mark and the horror of Jake. But it was necessary. I needed to heal. It wasn't easy. There were days when I felt like I would never trust anyone again. The world felt like a dangerous place, filled with predators lurking behind innocent smiles. One day, I decided to volunteer at a local organization that helped victims of online scams. I wanted to use my experience to help others, to warn them about the dangers of the internet and the manipulative tactics of con artists. It was empowering. It gave me a sense of purpose. I was no longer a victim. I was a survivor. It's been a year since Havenwood. I still have nightmares sometimes. I still flinch when a man gets too close. The scars are there, etched deep into my soul, but I'm healing. Slowly, painstakingly, I'm rebuilding my life. I'm learning to trust again. I'm learning to love myself. I even started dating again. Cautiously, hesitantly, I dipped my toes back into the dating pool. I met someone nice. His name is David. He's a little awkward, a little nerdy, and completely genuine. We went for coffee last week. He didn't try to impress me with fancy gestures or empty promises. He just listened. He asked about my life, my passions, my fears. As we walked back to my apartment, he reached for my hand. I hesitated for a moment, then I took it. His hand was warm and calloused. It felt safe. It's not a fairy tale ending. It's not happily ever after. But it's a start. It's a new beginning. I know I'll never be the same. Havenwood changed me, but I'm stronger now. I'm wiser. I'm more resilient. I'm learning to trust again, not blindly, not naively, but with my eyes open. I'm learning to love again. Not recklessly, not desperately, but with caution and hope. And that's enough.